Sedna's made the first steps of a long trek through Gemini, and it's significant because it comes on the heels of a huge wave of AI development, a tipping point in climate change, a mass movement towards renewable energy, and a digital revolution. In astrology, these are all themes of Sedna's realm as a bottom-of-the-ocean goddess. But her primary role is to push you forward on a path of your spiritual destiny, to open and transform the unknown. She has a way of testing your limits and regenerating your strength from the depths to new consciousness. Wherever you have Gemini in your chart, you are waking up. Because she unravels in Gemini over 44 years, you're more likely to feel a direct impact when there's a big transit, like Uranus and Sedna meeting up over 2026 and 2027, or when Sedna hits a planet or an angle in your birth chart. But even if you don't have planets in Gemini, the house or the houses that Gemini covers in your chart will be taking on a life of its own. This is where your spiritual destiny is dragging you over your next life stage. I hope you enjoy this ride through Sedna. I love her and she's a real source of inspiration to me. If you like what you see, there's more videos on Sedna on my channel. And remember to give me a like, a follow, a share or subscribe. Thanks for the support. Here's how Sedna in Gemini is affecting your sign. Aries or Aries rising. Sedna's arrival in Gemini gets your solutions going through multiple journeys in an effort to break free of patterns set in childhood. There's a pain point somewhere in the past that limited your growth, kept you small or hidden, and it's quite difficult, even impossible to communicate. Now you're waking up from that disconnect, and Sedna is swimming beside you to open up your voice to a new tune. Don't be discouraged if there's resistance to your soul's plan to integrate something you stashed at the bottom of the sea. You might have to let go of what you thought was holding you afloat, where you sacrificed and clutched at straws. Sedna is rewriting the way you think, rewiring a bunch of self-doubt, and evolving what was fragmented or unspeakable into a creative, conscious form. Taurus and Taurus rising. Taurus peeps, you're in for a generational evolution in how you use resources, what you value, and where you get security. Where do you stand on abundance and lack? Sedna covers long distance and it's a bumpy ride, so you might be getting more versatile with your finances, working remotely, turning a craft or a hobby into a business. Her move into Gemini is all geared up for the AI and automation revolution to change the workforce and whole industries. And maybe this is where you find yourself, inventing new ways to sustain yourself and sustain your base and your foundation. Sedna is unlocking potential and having you question what earning a living means and how it serves your greater good. Right now, she's at the early stages of opening a path that could have you turning your back on traditions to follow your heart. Gemini and Gemini rising. Sedna's moving into your sign for about 44 years. So Gemini, you are at the center of a collective leap in all things mercurial. That's stuff like communication, intelligence, connections, travel, and duality evolving to a new level. You can adapt to her demands more than others in this transit, but you're also stirred to reach in deep and live out your full potential. Sedna is initiating a rebirth, and especially as she moves over the degree of your sun or your rising sign, your sense of self, your suppressed talents, and how it serves others will be called up from the depths to the surface. Even your appearance could take on a new look that reflects this deeper version of yourself. Some of you might resonate with Sedna's story keenly over this next phase of your life, and the search for something more leads to both emptiness and serving your path with abundance. This is quite life-changing for you, Gemini, and a piece of grit or a source of irritation is going to be ground down to become a pearl. Cancer and Cancer rising. Cancer, the oceans are your realm, and Sedna's shift into Gemini opens up a yearning to wake up the paths of your ancestors and serve them in some way. There may be hidden gifts, histories or dreams that you unconsciously live out, or a redemption story that you can heal and reconcile. You might find your interest in spirituality increases over this next stage of your life, and even the need for solitude, reflection, and the search for more meaning. Expect your psychic sensitivity to be really tuned into new frequencies, new languages, and a new vision. Sedna's move into Gemini has you tapping into deeply soulful connections, not only with yourself, but with the collective. Leo and Leo rising. Leo, the next stage of evolution for you is through your social setting, your friends, networks, the way you build and foster community, your objectives for a better world. Sedna is plunging you into a long journey in search of belonging, and she's throwing in some unusual people with diverse background stories and synchronicities to pepper the path. In some way, the groups you lead and connect with, whether online, from a stage, or in real life, build a sense of extended family. You're open to the group vibe, and your spirit is thirsty to dissolve itself into some we are one energy. But it'll pay to remember. Sedna's metamorphosis was through painful experience, and when your spirit journey is looking for companions on the ride, be aware that some of them might try to take you down. It's time for you to grow through those experiences. Virgo and Virgo rising. For Virgos, Sedna has you looking at how your aspirations took off, hit a wall, got diverted, relaunched, slowed to a drizzle. Some of you have been carrying around a fear that if you throw yourself into your true path, you'll be cut off from a role or a responsibility at work or in the family. And this might have held you back from really flying. But now, something is resurrecting in a new shape and taking on a life of its own. It's calling you to step into an unknown of your own dreaming. Sedna's journey through Gemini won't be easy on Virgos, but she's gifting you with the power to evolve your own fate without living through others' expectations. The next life stage, Sedna will be redefining how you are known and what you're known for, how you'll be remembered. Libra and Libra rising. Learning, seeking, searching. For Librans, the journey is the destination when Sedna starts a new life chapter in Gemini. Her path of spiritual destiny leads you to explore different cultures, philosophies, and visions. All versions of travel are on the cards. Her influence is idealistic and expansive. Knowledge can transmute to wisdom or take on new forms. Your reach can extend. You could find yourself communicating from a broader platform or across a distance. So Librans, a responsibility and commitment comes with it. You can't do this with arrogance. If you are gripping onto an outdated tradition or belief, if you're in denial about your spiritual truth or stuck in a victim storyline, Sedna has a way of severing that connection and forcing wisdom upon you. Sedna commands respect and humility. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Sedna's move into Gemini takes you on a deep dive to the mystical realms of existence. Fortunately, you're made for the dark still waters of life, death and rebirth. Now Sedna's taking you through a letting go and shedding of skins, with some Phoenix rising energy on the other side. Sedna has you making adjustments, facing your fears and exploring your sexuality, your psychological hang-ups, or a family legacy. Depending on your life stage, there may be a theme of karmic redemption, a transition, or serving as a spiritual midwife for others at a crossroad. Soul contracts can be reconciled and healed while Sedna's in Gemini, and they can also draw you into challenging experiences that cut deep. You could have a few hits financially in this next phase, but there's regeneration and a legacy that survives way beyond your years. Sag and Sag rising. Saggy, you're cruising into a shift in frequency in your relationships. What and who you love, and how idealism or a death wish led you down certain garden paths. You might be having big questions about your current relationship status or reaching into a deeper connection in your partnerships. But Sedna in Gemini makes you curious about the what-ifs and the desire for versatility and growth. You're pointing your arrow for a soul connection, and if not, a deeply committed yet flexible arrangement that inspires your spirituality to expand. Capricorn and Capricorn rising. You are looking at a new life chapter that changes the way you work and how you spend your time. You'll be thirsty for something more than drudgery and routine, and Sedna is asking you to chip away and really transform what you thought your normal day-to-day life should or could be. Some of you might be affected by Sedna's changes in the workplace as industries adapt to AI and automation. There's a niggling tension to work out a better balance between doing and being. You could take up a bunch of new activities, interests and hobbies, and seriously, with Sedna, that could be a chatbot companion, an interest in micro food supply, eco gadgets, or your health gets transformed through one of Sedna's innovations, yet to be conjured. Capricorns, let go and integrate new frequencies into your everyday life. Aquarius and Aquarius rising. Aquarians, you're in for some radical shifts in growth, and the next life stage is incredibly creative and regenerative. But you will need to shake out the hooks and tangles of any old grudges and betrayals. Sedna lifts from rock bottom to full sovereignty with abundance to share. This is a time of accelerated change, especially for Aquarians born between the 21st and the 24th of Jan, and the temptations will be many. You're exploring all facets of yourself and taking a few risks along the way. Sedna's highest manifestation is through spiritual destiny, and this might show up through your children, writing, creative expression, playing, and enjoying yourself. Your next life stage is buoyed by imagination, curiosity, and wholehearted expression. Pisces and Pisces rising. Pisces, this next life stage, Sedna is transforming the foundations of what you call home and what nourishes your spirit. You're embarking on an evolutionary leap from your family of origin. You might be the first in your line at something, or you might be adopting different views and dreams, an identity separate to your family. This can make you feel like an outsider or risk being outcast. You might find you have to leave home to find home. Your spirit is looking for fertile ground to nourish a new direction in your family line, and something you're creating with Sedna in Gemini will transform future generations. Sedna in Gemini is a long transit, and for some of you, it'll see out the rest of your life. As she approaches closer and closer to Earth, we're at the tipping point of an evolutionary leap, and that's why making use of this transit will have a resonance and a reverberation that ripples out over a long, long, long way. I'm Meryl Key, and this is my Mystery School. Remember to hit the like button and the notification bell if you don't want to miss out of any of my new vids. Find me on Instagram at my_mystery school or on my website www.merylkey.com. Thanks for watching.